You seem nervous.
No, I'm not nervous.
It's been my experience there are only two reasons for people to be nervous. Either they're cowards, or they have something to hide.
Well, I also get nervous around pretty girls.
Hey, what's up guys? I know it's been a while since the game came out. I think it's been almost a month now, but anyways, finally, welcome to my review for Infamous Second Son. So let's get started. Finally. Story. Now, before I begin, I just wanted to say that I'm not going to be spoiling anything, so if you haven't played the game, you don't have to worry. So Infamous Second Son takes place in 2016, so that's around 7 years after the good ending in Infamous 2. You play as a character named Delson Rowe, and you accidentally get powers, just like in the first two games. And in this game, you work to take down the forces known as the DUP. The DUP is basically an organization that's locking up all of the conduits around the city, and your job is to take them down. Now, in terms of Delson, the character that you play as, I think he's one of the best parts of the game. Why, you might ask? Well, basically, if you look at Cole from the last two Infamous games, he didn't really have much of a personality. He was very quiet, he was very cold, he was very hard to relate to, all of that stuff. But if you look at Delson, on the other hand, like, he's completely like the opposite. He has a great personality, he talks a lot, he's pretty funny, he's very easy to relate to, and he's just overall a cool character. So I think he's one of the best parts of the game for that reason. Now, this is probably mainly because of the amazing voice acting done by Troy Baker, who, if you didn't know, voice acted Joel in The Last of Us, by the way. Now, besides Delson, there really isn't anything special about the story. Like, there's no plot twists or anything crazy or anything like that. It's just a straightforward story. Now, a lot of people have been complaining about the story, saying it's not good enough or whatever, but if you ask me, I think it's decent. Like, it got the job done. It was, it did what it had to do. There wasn't, like, yeah, there wasn't anything special about it, but it was okay in my opinion. It was decent. Now, just like the previous Infamous games, the moral system returns, so you could be good or evil based on the decisions you make in the story. This was something that I really enjoyed in Infamous 1 and 2, but in Second Son, however, it's kind of a disappointment. I say this because the choices you make in this game don't really affect the outcome of the story. Like, yeah, the cutscenes and the dialogue is somewhat different, but it doesn't really change the end result that much. This is especially true if you compare it to Infamous 2. Like, if you were evil in that game instead of being good, that completely changed the end of the story. In this game, it's not like that at all, so that's one of the disappointments I had with the story. But other than that, like I said before, I think the story was pretty decent. Gameplay. The gameplay in this game is definitely one of the two major things that make this game so freaking awesome. So if you played any of the previous Infamous games, you would say that the gameplay was really fun for both of them, right? But this game, Second Son, is on a whole different level. So the game takes place in Seattle, and there's nothing really special about the city. Like, it doesn't really feel alive like Infamous 1 did. So yeah, there are people walking around and cars driving around, but it doesn't feel the same. Like, there's nothing that sticks out about the people in the city. Instead, I think Sucker Punch went for a different approach where the city is your playground. You can do whatever you want, basically like that. And when I say playground, I really do mean it. The game does an amazing job at making you feel extremely powerful with all of your attacks, and like jumping from building to building, defeating enemies. You really do feel unstoppable. And speaking of your powers, you get 4 different types, and they all feel cool in their own way. Now, you can't really switch between them on the fly. Like, let's say you want to use your smoke powers, you have to find a smoke source. If you want to switch to your video powers, you have to find a video source. This might sound tedious, but it surprisingly works well. This game also features some cool boss fights, which is a good thing because not a lot of games have boss fights anymore like they used to. Oh, and I did experience some frame rate drops at times, mainly when the game got really hectic. Now, this isn't something you should be worried about, as it only happened a couple of times for me, but still, it's something you should take note of. Now, there were plenty of times where I didn't really feel like playing the story. Like, I just blew stuff up, I flew around and stuff like that. Like, it's that fun. You just want to just play around the whole city and like blow stuff up and stuff like that. Oh, and since this game is on PS4, you get to use a DualShock 4's touchpad and speaker. And when this game was first announced, I was wondering how Sucker Punch might utilize the touchpad and the speaker. How would you like interact with them in the game? And let me just say that you really do get to use both of them in some really cool ways. Like for example, if someone's calling you on your phone, or if you get caught by an alarm, the speaker starts beeping. It's kind of cool. Also, you get to use the touchpad when you're blowing stuff up, and in terms of the motion capabilities of the controller, you get to use that when you're spray painting, so it's kind of cool. You just shake the controller, move it around as you're spray painting as you would in real life. It's kind of cool. Now in terms of replay value, you have your good playthrough and your bad playthrough, and then after that you have your side missions. Now the side missions, there are a lot of them, but I have to say a lot of them are repetitive, but they're still fun. Graphics and sound. Now personally, I think the graphics in this game are the second major thing that makes this game so amazing. Like, they're mind-blowing, they're gorgeous. This is definitely the best looking game I've ever played. Like, that's how good it looks. Like, there were so many times in the game where I just couldn't take it anymore. I just had to put the controller down and look at how amazing the game looked. Like, that's how crazy it is. Sucker Punch definitely did an amazing job at making this game look as good as it does. Like, currently there are no games that look as good as this game. That's just a fact. Like the particle effects, the lighting, the textures, the character animations, all of it looks amazing. Final thoughts. All in all, this is a great game with an okay story, an okay moral system, amazing graphics, and amazing gameplay. I can guarantee that you'll have lots of fun playing it. If you have a PS4 but you don't have this game, I strongly recommend you getting it because it is like the perfect definition of next gen. So if you don't have a PS4, then it might not be worth it for you to buy a PS4 just for this game. But if you have a PS4, you definitely need to check this game out. So I give this game an 8.5 out of 10. So that's basically it. Thank you for watching. What do you think about this game? Are you getting it? All of that. Leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.